I just thought it was like watching a film, Nirmal. And I'm saying it, we Tamils, we love cinema. We love that thing. You call me there and I will come there and I will come alone. And who does that remind you of, right? The thing is that I just find it like men clashing in a very amateurish fashion. Yes, I'm a woman, but I'm also a Tamil. The thing is that it is just throwing one wager after the other, Nirmal. And for what? I mean, you're trying to show this is only politics. It's not a personal war, as it were. Nirmal, your opening comments on this very apolitical side to this story.
Yeah, I mean, to start with, I also love movies, and I've watched both Tamil and Malayalam movies as I grew up, and this reminded me so much of Suresh Gopi movies. By the way, keeping the politics aside, I feel that it's very mature on both ends, from the end of Annamalai as well as Udhayanidhi. However, I feel like they're trying to create that personality. Sometimes in the South, the reason why these actors, the so-called Mohanlals and Mammootties and Stalins and Vijays, the reason why they are who they are is because of the posture that they've created through these words in movies, of course. But here, I think Annamalai is trying to create that. He already has a fan base, but he's trying to, maybe rub insult to the wound that has already been created, because he's been throwing a lot of shade at Udhayanidhi Stalin as well as his father on reasons such as corruption, that they're trading illegal liquor, illegal drugs, all of that, and this adds up to that. However, on the specific issue of Hindi being spoken and to be made mandatory, that I feel like, from an apolitical perspective, I feel like as someone from Kerala, I've learned Hindi and I've reaped the benefits of that. Working in Delhi and other places, of course, I've reaped the benefits of that. The one thing that I feel about DMK is that if they are so specific on not teaching Hindi or not adopting Hindi, why are they not doing it in CBSE schools or even matriculation schools? And I was surprised to know, speaking to one of my Tamil friends, that Sunshine School, I'm not sure if that's a school that he referred to, Sunshine School, apparently is owned by the Stalin family. And they even, being a matriculation school, they teach Hindi there. However, the policy is different when it comes to government schools, which is kind of perplexing. Otherwise, I understand the sentiments behind it. I understand that there is a 7-decade-long history behind it. People have lost lives. So all of that is true. But then, if it's a policy, whether it's a policy or a principle, it has to be followed consistently. And that's where I feel like, why are they doing this? It feels like it's something political.
All right. Nikhil Jain, let me come to you, Nikhil. You see, the language wars started in the 60s, and that is the kernel of Dravidian politics, where they are anti-Hindi and they've had language agitation starting from the 60s. And all the stalwarts, you will now see that even Yedapadi and Stalin have shaken hands on this. They will all speak in one tongue, and that being say no to Hindi. The point is, what I want you to comment on what Stalin is saying, that this has been our policy, we've adhered to this for decades. The point is what the central government is saying, or the union government is saying, that we shall not release the funds of the Samagra Siksha unless you say yes to national education policy. Stalin feels that is a bit of a blackmail. Your views on that first, Mr. Jain.
Sadhanand, I completely sort of side with what the DMK is doing right now, and I'll tell you why. I don't think the problem is against Hindi. The problem is against the imposition of Hindi. It's perfectly all right for Tamil students to learn Hindi in government schools or private schools, but for the central government to impose upon any state, whether it's Tamil Nadu or any other state, to follow its national education policy and to have a three-language policy and to mandatorily teach or provide the option of teaching Hindi in states where you may not easily find Hindi tutors, I think that is a little bizarre, because from a public policy perspective, when we look at countries around the world, education, especially school level education, is something that is best handled at a lower provincial level or at a district level. The central government, some bureaucrat sitting in New Delhi cannot decide what is the best thing to do in Chennai or what is the best thing to do in
because Mr. Jain, because the NEET, the anti-NEET campaign is also, it revolves around this, that a child who studies in Tamil medium till class 8 to suddenly change to English or Hindi to out of the question, but English is completely kind of very, very difficult. Quickly, Nikhil Jain, I'm running out of time. Do you think this is an election issue? Because according to me, it's not. It's a flash in the pan. But your views, Mr. Nikhil Jain?
I think it may not be an election issue in terms of what people will directly vote on or do not vote on, but it will certainly help in a perception building mechanism wherein the DMK would try and the BJP and Annamalai would try to prove it as some sort of an integration of Tamil Nadu with the country. God knows why do they want to say it, but that's essentially the BJP line in states where they're not in power. And the DMK would try to make it about regionalism, self-determination, and the pride of Tamilians. I think it would be important in terms of building perception, but not as a core issue whether students in Tamil Nadu should learn Hindi or not.
Nikhil, I'm sorry, Nirmal, I want to ask you from what Nikhil said is basically that they will build it up. But Nirmal, the point is, if you look at DMK's performance, deteriorating law and order, women are extremely safe, one case after the other of sexual assault. There is also within them, the alliance partners are very, very unhappy. The people know what the DMK has done. Okay, the Tamil is very, very intelligent. He or she knows what exactly is going on. Like most of Indians, I don't want to cherry pick on the Tamil just because I'm one. Do you think this is even an issue? They can turn around and say that this has been going on since the 60s. We were not even born. Talk about something new.
Exactly. I mean, this has been going on for a while. And for a while, I mean 7 decades. So I don't think this is an issue that goes to the heart or pinches the heart of an individual in Tamil Nadu. However, as I said before, if there is, from the side of BJP as well as DMK, the policy has been take it or leave it. And that's exactly what Pradhan said as well, take it or leave it. And I don't think that's a policy that they have to adopt. But for the benefit of the students of Tamil Nadu in the future, understanding that Hindi is the 5th most popular and the 5th most spoken language in the world, it is important that they sit across a table and sort this out, at least in the near future, because for the benefit of the students. Otherwise, politically, I don't think it would make a difference. Yes, in 1965, when the issue happened in 67, they did benefit, but this time around, I don't think that's an issue as large as something that could make a difference in the election.
But do you think it's fair to stop the Samagra Siksha Funds quickly? No. Yes or no?
Absolutely not.
It's not.
Which is why.
Nikhil, do you think that's really totally unfair? Because what about the salaries owed to teachers, Nikhil? You can't possibly stop.
Absolutely unfair, absolutely wrong. And this is the problem with the central government right now, that they try to use levers such as the GST and other funds at the center should be giving to the states without any conditions. They're holding on to it just to impose the policies that they think are right. I think that it's absolutely unfair, and it strikes in the face of federalism of this country.
But the point is that it almost seems like, NEP, which is also being opposed, Nikhil and Nirmal, by a lot of states. For instance, Karnataka has also gone against it. But I do not know why, but in Tamil Nadu, Nirmal, it's become like the gin is out of the bottle, as it were.
No, I think just to be clear, that's exactly what I said. It's unfair for him to say. But today, if you've seen the video, he has made a clarification saying that this is not something that we are trying to impose. But of course, you don't know the politics involved. But if they're not trying to impose it, as I said, it's important that they sit across the table, and for the benefit of the students of Tamil Nadu in the future, they will have to sort this out immediately. And you cannot go on with this, something as archaic as not learning a language. Listen, we are both speaking in a language of our colonizers, right? English. We're having this discussion in English. If I was so political about it, I wouldn't learn or speak English. So I think it's time to get to this.
All right. Okay.